Of all the characters in the strange and haunting world of Hawkins, Indiana, perhaps none is more powerfully human, more deeply broken, and more desperately repaired than Chief Jim Hopper. On the surface, he is exactly what the town expects, the local cop, a hulking, grumbling figure in a uniform, driving his blazer through quiet streets, dealing with petty complaints and domestic squabbles. He is the law, a symbol of order in a small world where not much is supposed to happen. But this identity, this role of the cop, is a costume Hopper wears over a gaping wound. It is a shell that both protects him and prisons him, and the central drama of his story is the brutal, beautiful conflict between being the enforcer of rules and being a protector of the vulnerable. This isn't just a job for Hopper, it's a war inside his own heart, fought over the memory of a lost daughter and the unexpected arrival of a strange, silent girl who rewrites his entire world. To understand Hopper the cop, you have to go back to the tragedy that hollowed him out. Before Hawkins, he was a father, a family man in New York City, living a life of love centered on his little girl, Sara. Her death from cancer shattered him completely. The pain was so immense, so unsurvivable, that he had to bury it under layers of concrete. He fled to his own hometown, took a sleepy job as police chief, and built a life of quiet, numb routine. The cop identity became his survival mechanism. Cops deal in facts, in procedure, in keeping the peace. They don't have to feel, they have to manage. Hopper perfected this. He became the cynical, chain-smoking, coffee-guzzling authority figure, avoiding real connection, drowning his past in whiskey and work. The uniform was his armor, and the rules of the town were a simple script he could follow to get through the day without confronting the screaming emptiness inside. This cop persona is what we meet in Season 1, a man who just wants the weird disturbances, like a missing boy named Will Byers and a frantic mother named Joyce, to be simple, explainable problems, a runaway kid, a stressed-out parent, so he can file a report and go back to numbing his pain. But the universe, and a girl named 11, had other plans. When Hopper discovers Elle hiding in the woods, his cop brain should immediately see her as a problem, a fugitive, a subject for interrogation, a piece of a puzzle to be handed over to the scary government men in suits. Yet, something deeper and older stirs. Here is a child, terrified, alone, abused by the very system he represents as an officer of the law. She is a victim in desperate need of protection, not procedure. This is where the conflict ignites. The cop in him wants to follow the logical path, to involve the authorities, to treat her as evidence. The protector, a role he thought died with Sara, begins to roar back to life. You see this clash in every interaction early on. He is gruff with her, tries to stick to practicalities, giving her food, finding her clothes, but the act of care itself cracks his shell. The protector isn't about rules, it's about gut instinct, about putting yourself between danger and an innocent, about unconditional safety. It's messy, emotional, and deeply personal. Hopper's journey with 11 is the slow, painful victory of the protector over the cop. He doesn't just give her shelter, he gives her a home. He creates rules, yes, like the famous no using her powers and stay hidden rules, but these are not the rules of a police chief. These are the rules of a father born from fear and fierce love. The conflict is visible in his face, the stern, official expression constantly melting into worry, pride, and overwhelming fear for her safety. This internal war plays out on a larger scale with every supernatural threat Hawkins faces. The government agencies, like the Hawkins Lab and later, the military, represent the ultimate extension of the cop mentality gone mad, order through control, secrecy, and sacrifice of the individual for a perceived greater good. They want to contain, to study, to weaponize. Hopper, as the town's official lawman, is constantly pressured to align with them, to be their local tool, to uphold their version of peace. But the protector in him always rebels. He sees that their order is a lie that gets people killed. His protection isn't for the system, it's for people, Joyce, the kids, the town itself. He illegally breaks into a government lab to find Will Byers. He lies to his own deputies and federal agents. He makes deals with dangerous enemies and sacrifices his own freedom to keep 11 safe. Every one of these acts is a felony, a complete betrayal of his cop identity in the service of his protector's heart. The most powerful symbol of this is his cabin in the woods. For the outside world, it's where the reclusive chief lives. But inside, it becomes a sacred, secret space of protection where the rules of Hawkins don't apply. There, he isn't Chief Hopper, he is Dad, a role that requires more courage and causes more terror than any badge ever could. The conflict reaches its most painful point in his relationship with 11 as she grows up. The protector wants to keep her safe in a bubble forever, locked away from a world that wants to hurt her. The cop in him tries to enforce this with strict, unbending rules. But this, ironically, starts to hurt the very person he's trying to protect. He becomes overbearing, he doesn't listen, he tries to control her normal teenage desires for friendship and independence. He is repeating the trauma of his loss by being so afraid of losing her that he smothers her. This leads to their heartbreaking fights, where the father-daughter bond strains under the weight of his fear. It takes immense growth for Hopper to realize that true protection isn't about total control. It's about trust, guidance, and sometimes letting go so the person you love can become strong enough to protect themselves. His beautiful, heartfelt letter to her at the end of Season 3 is the ultimate resolution of this conflict. In it, the cop is gone completely. It is the pure, unfiltered voice of the protector, the father, admitting his faults, expressing his boundless love, and giving her the wisdom she needs to face the world, not just orders to hide from it. In the end, Jim Hopper's story is about a man who found his way back to his humanity by abandoning the very role he used to hide from it. The badge and the uniform were never his true identity, they were a shield. His real self was the man who could love a child so much he would storm a Russian prison, fight a monster bare-handed, or give up his life without a second thought. The conflict was brutal. It cost him peace, it caused him pain, and it nearly destroyed his most important relationship. But through that struggle, Hopper showed us that the highest form of strength isn't about enforcing order from the outside. It's about the chaotic, messy, powerful choice to care, to love, and to stand as a guardian for those who need it, no matter the personal cost. He didn't just save Hawkins from monsters from other dimensions, he saved himself from the monster of his own grief, proving that even the most broken protector can become whole again through the act of loving someone else.